Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another part of the Deaf and the Mute. So today I will be reading part 2. I just wanted to say thank you for the views I already have because, okay, I just gotta say, that was the most views any of my videos have ever gotten just like that. One day and I already had 13 views. It was amazing. I couldn't understand that. So thank you guys so much for that. Oh my gosh. But yeah, so I will be reading part 2 of Deaf Bakugo times Mute Listener. And I hope you guys will enjoy it. The story was written by plusieTRex, like I told you in the last part. So let's get to it. Okay, chapter 2. Your Pove. Middle school, last day. It was the last day of middle school, and I could tell that Bakugo was acting different. He would use his quirk more often than he usually did. Once school was over, mostly everyone left, and it was just me, Izuku, Katsuki, and his friends. Izuku was looking at his phone, shortly putting it away, and putting his notebook away. Then Katsu grabbed it and soon exploded it. Ah! Katsu! Wait, oops, sorry. Ah! Katsu then threw it out of the window. That's so mean, Izuku said as Katsu started to leave. Oh yeah? And if you really want a quirk that badly, try praying for one in your next life and take a swan dive off the roof. I cut him short by tapping out and tapping into his body. Don't listen to me. I'm just being an Aztec. Come on, you two. Just. I can't read today. Don't listen to me. I'm just being an ass, Deku. Come on, you two. Let's leave. I managed to get Katsuki down a flight. I think it's meant to say flight of stairs. I don't know. Before tapping out and getting back into my own body, causing my dizziness to show up. YN, you didn't have to do that, you know. Izuku ran over to me, trying to make sure I'm okay. It's okay, Izuku. Kachan's just being meaner than usual today, I signed as he nodded and we left the school. Soon we heard an explosion, causing the whole school and ground to shake. We questioned it and thought of Katsuki. Maybe he's just pissed off now, Izuku said, trying not to panic. I nodded as we continued heading back home. Okay, guys, I just gotta point this out. My dad's in the other room and he's kind of listening. He can hear me right now and I'm freaked out. This is kind of stressful right now. I then got a weird feeling and tapped Izuku's shoulder. Let's go this way. I have a strange feeling about the tunnel today. I signed, and he nodded as we started to walk away from the tunnel. After the whole sludgy incident, Bakugo made a lot of explosions by his head, which worried me since he ended up going to the hospital. Izuku left the area, and so did the number one hero, All Might. I sighed and left the area. Heroes trying to talk to me as well as reporters who asked if I was okay and what it felt like to stop a villain and stuff. I managed to get away with the help of some pros, but it ended up with a death glare to the reporters and pros. Since I can't really say anything, I basically used my quirk to tap onto someone with a camera quirk. Yelled loud enough to get people to stop annoying my body and tapped back out into my own body and ran away. Once I calmed down, I looked around and saw I was close to the hospital and decided to see if Bakugo was okay. Hello, ma'am. I smiled softly and signed as if I could see Bakugo Katsuki. Oh, you mean the male that came in earlier while he was shouting? He's in room 231. Just up the elevator and down the left hallway. I signed thank you and she nodded as went to see Katsu. When I knocked on the door, I heard someone with a with a feminine voice say to come in. When I opened the door, I saw Katsuki in the hospital bed and his mother, Miss Suki, sitting in a chair next to his bed. I signed what happened, trying to say it but couldn't get any words out. You were the attack, right, Ryan? Well, when he set off his quirk, he was too close to his ears and damaged his eardrums, causing him to go deaf. Why am I laughing? This is not funny. I sighed softly, taking a seat on the other side of Katsuki's bed after closing the door. Don't look so sad, Ryan. Katsuki will be okay. Soon the doctor came in and had some more news for us. Since his eardrums cannot be fixed, he is now permanently deaf. Whoops. But we have a mechanic for hearing aids here at the hospital for people who become like this. So he made some hearing aids with the designs that you gave us, Miss Bakugou. He then took out the hearing aids and gave them to Misuki as Katsu just laid there asleep. He should wake up within the next hour or so. We nodded and the doctor left. Time skipped to when Katsuki wakes up. It had been 2 hours and Katsuki finally started to wake up. I then tapped Misuki's shoulder to wake her up and we looked at Katsu, where he then went to touch his ears. Why can't I hear? Wait, why can't I hear? He started to worry a bit, and I touched his arm, rubbing it softly. I then took out a pen and paper, writing down what had happened, and then he was now deaf. And that he was now deaf. He sighed softly. So what now? Your mom has hearing aids that the doctors made for you. And if you want, I can teach you sign language. It comes in handy when you're deaf or mute, like us. I wrote down on the paper, and he nodded as Misuki gave him the hearing aids. When he put them in, he looked a bit afraid to turn them on. But when he did, he tested where he should set them to be able to hear again. After a few seconds, he was able to hear again with the help of the heart monitor. Gosh, I can't do this, he mumbled under his breath. Gosh, I can't do this, he mumbled under his breath. It's okay, hun. It'll take time to get used to them. Ryan is willing, I can't read this word, willing to help you out as well. He nodded, and after an hour, we were, I apologize, I can't read apparently. He nodded, and after an hour, we were able to leave the hospital. Ryan, I called your parents and asked if you could stay over for tonight. They say they don't mind and that they want you back home tomorrow morning. I nodded and got into the back seat of Misuki's car, with Katsuki sitting next to me. I then took out my phone and started to text him since he took his hearing aids out before we left. Time skip to Bakugou's house. Sorry for skipping around so much. Okay, the author said, sorry for skipping around so much, just trying to make it easier to type. Once we arrived at the Bakugou household, I got Katsu out of the car and helped him up to his room. I don't need help, shorty. I sighed softly and went into his room with him, sitting down on his bed and realizing that I'm still in the school uniform. I then heard a click, noticing that Katsuki put his hearing aids in and was testing the sounds. It's weird, isn't it? I sighed, and he nodded slowly. One aid was in and the other was out. I can't believe that I lost my hearing. He then took the aid out after turning it off and set them down on his nightstand. He then noticed I still had the uniform on and went to his closet. Since he can't hear me and I can't speak, I decided not to fight with him. He then threw me a black t-shirt and said, "You can change in here, but I'm not leaving. Since I can't hear anything anymore, I won't be able to hear when you're done. I'm gonna turn away, so tap my shoulder when you're done." He then turned around and I signed, blush forming on my cheeks as I got undressed. I didn't have shorts to wear, so I guess just a t-shirt will help me survive for now. Once I put his t-shirt on, I realized that it was his favorite shirt. It's all black with a white skull on it. Seems fitting for him, but it's a bit too big on me. It at least covers my ass and doesn't slip off of my shoulders much. I then went over to Katsuki and tapped his shoulder like he told me to. When he turned around, he had blush on his cheeks and a smirk on his face. I tilted my head a bit to the side as he dragged me to his bed, pinning me down and smirking still. "Hey, just wondering what you would have done, sorry," he said, getting off of me, leaving me a blushing mess on his bed. "Let's go get dinner. The old hag made curry tonight." I nodded and got up as Mitsuki yelled, "What did you call me, brat?" We then went downstairs and Katsu just said, "I called you an old hag, but since I can't hear you, I just thought of what you would say. Plus, I'm not a brat." The family. This is going to be fun. Katsuki was then hit on the head and he just growled. "Mitsuki's right, Katsuki. You are a brat if you act like that." I signed and Mitsuki just laughed a bit. "I don't care. Let's just eat already." I nodded as we sat down at the table and ate our dinner. "So, Wayan, since Katsuki can't hear us, do you think you can get him to behave better?" I nodded. "Do you think he'll have a girlfriend?" She then looked at me and smirked. Do you think you could be his girlfriend?" I started to blush and hide my face in my shirt that Katsu forced me to wear. Anyways, Katsu noticed that I was blushing and had my face in her shirt. Did you make her like this?" he asked his mom, and she shrugged. Once we finished our food, Katsuki took me to his room, locking the door behind him. He then went over to his hearing aids and put them in, turning them on and pinned me to the wall. "What did she tell you?" Katsu asked me as I signed. "She was asking if I could be your girlfriend." He sighed and unpinned me, walking over to his bed, taking his hearing aids off as he turned them off and laid in bed. "Ryan, you don't have to sleep on the floor, but you can if you want. I'd rather you sleep with me, though." I continued to blush since he pinned me to the wall and now wants me to sleep with him. I sighed softly and went over to his bed, climbing in and laying down next to him. He then wrapped his arms around me and whispered in my ear, "Please be mine." Does he really like me? I don't care if you're mute. I don't care if I'm deaf. As long as I can have you in my life and you're happy, I'll be okay. So please, please, will you be my girlfriend? OMG, oh my gosh, this is so cute. Okay, so guys, that was part 2. I'm sorry for the stuttering and, well, continuing stopping in the fact that I can't read today. But that was part 2 of the deaf bakugou and the mute listener. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe if you haven't yet, and in order to remember, to get notified when the part 3 is out, to please put on that notification bell. Also, if you know of people who enjoy listening to things like this, please just share it. I would really like people to watch or listen to it. And if anyone personally knows plusieTRex, I would really love if they could watch or listen to me reading their story. I just hope I don't get copyright claim for any of this. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. So stay tuned for part 3 of this. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. Bye.